Dodgy. Despite rising costs, Texas public schools haven't seen a state funding increase since 2019.
Many local districts are starting the year in a deficit, despite Texas holding billions in funds that could help. KPRC2's Candace Burns explains how this is essentially pushing schools to the brink. Candace.
Yeah, that's right, Andy and Lisa. Legislative gridlock is keeping that money from reaching classrooms, and the delay could force many districts to turn to their communities, meaning you, the taxpayer, for more money.
We're not a victim. We're doing the best we can with what we got.
Alief ISD's Deputy Superintendent Charles Woods has dedicated 31 years to the district, driven by a strong sense of purpose.
I feel like the kids that we serve are some of the most needy and deserving, and so it feels good to stay here.
Alief has 39,000 students and nearly 6,000 employees, half of whom are teachers. The district has been tightening its budget despite declining enrollment, the end of federal COVID relief funds, and other funding challenges.
Current budget cycle is extremely difficult. Trying to live within our means as we had to shrink our staff. We've been shrinking our staff, trying to maintain. It's not mismanagement by schools.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation calculator, the buying power of $6,160, the basic student allotment provided by the state, which hasn't changed since 2019, has significantly decreased in value due to inflation, further straining school budgets. Alief is not alone. According to a recent report from Rice University's Kinder Institute of Urban Research, most school districts in Texas are facing financial troubles. The study shows that 73% of districts in Texas are underfunded, with 17% facing severe shortages and funding gaps that exceed 40% of their needs. Alief and many Houston area schools are listed as needing the most attention. And there are billions of dollars in state funding available to help relieve the mounting pressure on districts, but that money is stuck in Austin.
More than $4 billion that were actually allocated to schools not being used because our governor threw a temper tantrum.
Zeph Capo is the president of the Texas American Federation of Teachers.
The governor and the Senate insisted that schools would get no new dollars, teachers would not get raises, students would not get new funding if they didn't get their way on vouchers. And that is why we have such a tremendous problem.
Every 2 years, lawmakers meet to decide school funding. But in 2023, they left without an agreement. Governor Abbott's push for a voucher program, which would divert public funds to private schools, faced strong opposition.
We want to make sure that our fellow Texans understand.
And as a result, districts are starting the school year short on cash.
My personal opinion, that can't help but feel a little cruel.
With state funds tied up and no clear solution in sight, districts like Alief are left with few options. Community support may be their only lifeline as they continue to advocate for resources that they need.
Well, the only lever we have to pull is we can ask the voters for an increase in funding. Taxpayers shouldn't have to do that at this point in time, but we have to fight for our kids and ask them if there's any way that they could see their way to pass that.
If the state doesn't step in and do something, could some school districts be at risk of just not existing anymore?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The elections have consequences, and people got to start voting.
I reached out to several school districts for this story. Alief and Spring Branch ISD responded. Lisa Andrews, president of the Spring Branch ISD School Board, shared that Spring Branch is operating with a deficit budget stabilized somewhat after the $35 million they made in cuts last school year, which included school closures. Andrews urges legislators to move.
Unfortunately, we're caught in this political war between whether or not they're going to pass school choice or vouchers, and they can have their political war. But from a public education standpoint, certainly public schools educate the vast majority of Texan children. 5.5 million children go to public schools in Texas, and they've got to do their job and fund public education.
The legislature will meet again in January to discuss money for schools. You can contact your representative to let them know how you feel about school funding before they meet. If you would like to read the full report from the Kinder Institute of Urban Research, visit our website, click2houston.com. In the studio, Candace Burns, KPRC 2 News.